as we march at the end of March, in March, you got to have a March message, right? Something forward, something we got to do. And my mind settled on this, and so we do this every year. In September, we always talk about forgiving one another. Just something about that, dealing with sin and brothers and sisters. For whatever reason, the church at large in the world is very errant on forgiveness. And so we emphasize, well, in March, it's to do a march, and this is to get inside your heart. And I'll go through what the message will be, and it's in your sermon notes, but I made a major change here. And so we're talking about love like Jesus. Let me go through the outline, and then we're going to open in prayer here. Love like Jesus, that picture of Jesus there. Next week I'll try, if I can, get you a couple pictures of Gethsemane as it is today. And it's a very meaningful place. It's still there. It is on the Mount of Olives. Here's the top of the Mount of Olives. You go down and you actually look up to Jerusalem, or the temple. Today it's the Temple Mount. You actually look up. You're down here because it goes in the Kidron Valley, and so you're still on the Mount of Olives, but you're there at this bottom, and your angle would be about like that to see the entry gates, the east gate in there. And we'll show you some pictures of that, and they did a beautiful job of preserving it. On the top of the Mount of Olives is all kinds of stuff, and there's not much preserved up there. But Gethsemane has been kept by the church all these years, and it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful place. It's a place you could freely wander through the garden, olive gardens and whatnot. You could freely go and check out those things. It's really very meaningful. So with that, we're going to be using Mark 20:30. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind, with all thy strength. And that. Number one, we'll be learning what is the Shema. It's a prayer, a Jewish prayer. What is the Shema that this teaching in Mark 12 is based on? What are the three parts? There are four, but sometimes it comes off as three, only three, but all four of them is heart, mind, soul, strength, and we're going to unite heart and mind as one. You'll see why. It's the reasoning part, the center part, reasoning, thinking, and then the soul, and then the strength. We'll talk about that. Number three, what love are we to have toward God? Love the Lord thy God. What love is it that we are to give to God? Number four, what does the all mean? Love the Lord thy God with all your strength, with all your mind. What does the word all mean? And lastly, practical steps in loving God through the three parts. And this will get you going. These things will get you going. Love of the Lord. Heart and mind, I must pursue and connect with God every day. I must pursue and connect. You got to find God every day. It's like hide and seek in this world. We know he's in the Bible. We know he's in prayer. But even there, sometimes you ever read the Bible and you read it and you got it and you go, and then you're wondering, what I read? What did I read 10 minutes ago? You know, because you do a chapter, you read the chapter, what was it about? And you got to really stop and pursue the Lord and connect with him every day. Soul, I must live my life as a manager, not its owner. We live as owners. I'm going to do this. This is good for me. That's good for me. We're just managers. He's the owner. We're going to talk about that. And strength. With all you have, give your best to God. With all you have, give your best to God. Maybe even early would be good to put in there. Early. Do it early. With all your strength, give it to the Lord. Leave very little strength for anything else but the Lord. But you look at the picture, that's Jesus in Gethsemane. If you look at the picture, there's something wrong. And this message, which right now I'm about 3 days ahead of next week's message, because that's going to be next week's message. I said, that's kind of the end. And especially if someone needs to be challenged with really get going to being on fire for the Lord, sold out for the Lord, we got to start at the beginning. And so this is all about the beginning that will set up the message. You may not be ready, and any day of the week, I might not be ready to know what it means to love the Lord my God with all my mind, with all my soul, with all my strength. And you got to go to some things before that to help us with that. Imagine 3 people sitting on 3 couches. You all got couches, probably, something like that, futon, something, you know. But just imagine 3 people sitting on 3 couches. All of them are Christians. All of them have eaten, scrubbed up, brushed up, dressed up, you know. They've done everything, nothing but the earthly essentials for the morning, and we all thank you for the mouthwash. We thank you, everybody, we thank you for that. Deodorant, we thank you for all of that. But now those 3 are going to go into their day. Will that look the same? And it won't. We're going to see the one go into his day, and he's going to be or she's going to be all zealous for the Lord, zealous for the things of the Lord. Another one's going to go through the day with their Christian life and some version of same old routine, even sometimes recognizing I'm kind of in a spiritual rut. Kind of do the same thing. Nothing's really been new ever in recent days. And there's going to be someone sitting on a couch that will do nothing. They're not going to get off the couch. There, a guy who used to say in high school, one of my teachers in high school would say, he's just a bump on a pickle, you know. Just going to be a bump on the pickle for the Lord. And we're just going to do nothing really with our day. And don't ever let that happen. In our church, we have a philosophy, a biblical philosophy, not a worldly philosophy, but a biblical philosophy. And that is 8, 9, 10 Christianity. 8, 9, 10 Christianity. And I thought all of this, well, this got to be said again. And we got to talk about it today, and then next week will make a lot more sense. 8, 9, 10 Christianity is this. Let me read it. Revelation 3, 15 through 22. Revelation 3, starting in the middle of that chapter, around 15. I know your works. It's Christ talking to the church, and it's Christ talking to me. Whatever we're doing, he knows your real works. He knows what you really think about, what you really say, who you really are, good, bad, or ugly. I know your works, that you are neither, in their case, the Laodiceans, neither hot, neither cold nor hot. I would wish that you were cold or hot. So that because you're lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will vomit you out of my mouth. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. This is of the Christian's life, not the unbeliever. I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice, opens the door of his heart, of his life, stops to seek and pursue God, I will come into him and dine with him or her, and he with me. To him who overcomes, this is our problem. Here's your problem. You want to, I'm sure you want to. You idealize the right life, even the bump on the pickle. I really ought to be doing something. I ought to just change the channel over to at least a preacher or something. You know, we have some thoughts that we can do better than this. And so we're overcoming things to get that done. To him who overcomes, I will grant to sit with me on my throne, as I also overcame and sat down with my Father on his throne. What's he saying? There's another rest place. I'll come into you now. I'll be in your house now. I'll be with your now me grandparenting. He used to be there all about my parenting. Am I done with parenting? Yeah. Am I completely done with parenting? No. But by and large, I'm done. I did my work. Now it's for them to do their work, you know. But I just started my grandparenting work, and I got all that work so we got all these jobs we got to do in there, and so I want the Lord in that life. If you'll do that, boy, will you go into that next life. And so here you are, you're going to get to that next life if you believe in the Lord, but we want it good here, we want it good there. Does the Lord have command over, is he driving, is he at the wheel? You're doing it, but is he at control of your life? Is there an undying love, a passionate zeal? To him who does overcome these things, he who has an ear, verse 22, let him hear what the Spirit says. Jesus is talking to the church, and the Spirit's talking to the church. So we have like a tea metaphor. He'll take hot, he'll take cold. We do that with our tea. Hot, cold. We like it. Tea, iced tea is good. Hot tea is good, but lukewarm. Oh, cool that down or warm that up, right? Sports. You're the coach of a team. I've never coached a team. I don't have the time to coach a team, but if I did coach a team, I could do pretty good. Maybe elementary, kids, maybe. I don't think I do high school. But if I boned up, I could do that. But I could do good with that. I know basketball pretty well. I was best at tennis and baseball, but I like basketball. And if I was a coach, I want to do basketball. I just like basketball. And you have on those three benches. You have a couch, you have a bench, you have baseball seats, wherever they're sitting on. You have some that come off those benches and they're hustlers. That's what you want, that zeal, hustlers. There's others and they're just bench players. They go in once in a while. They're called. And then the one that's cold, spectator. He's not even in the game, really. He's just spectating over on the side. If it was a store, there's those that are sold out. Did you ever go where they're all sold out? Manny and I pulled up to an Arby's. I'll take an Italian beef or whatever it was, a beef sandwich. We're all out of beef. You're all out of beef. That's what you are. And then whoever his name is, I forget his name, he's got a weird name. He says, "We got the beef," He goes, you have a chicken sandwich. He said that. We have chicken sandwiches. I'll go to KFC. I wasn't mad. I was just telling him, I'll go to KFC to get that. You're sold out. It was so good they were sold out. At a store, there's a sold out Christian. Then there's the Christian his life is on the bargain rack. Do you ever go to the bargain rack, especially Felposh or what now is Family Fare? They have the bargain rack, and I check it out because it's so cheap. Nothing I want. There's nothing I want. And then there's real cold. What would be cold? Shoplifter, right? Shoplifter. Real cold. Cold's bad. Cold's sinful. I'd rather you're sinful. What? I got to put in the gambler just because it's all in. All in. I like that. I'm not going to gamble, but if I gamble, I like it. So I'm all in. In the Christian life, are you all in? Is it all? Or then there's the Penny Ante game, And then there's the Bond girl. The Bond girl there's always that James Bond. She's always standing doing nothing. She's just looking at the game. She's not in the game. Again, a spectator. Let me use gambling. You can't really use that too well, but let me do what the Bible says. This is different, but Matthew 25:15. And to the one he gave 5 talents. That's an amount of money. 5. Let's say thousands of dollars. $5,000. To another $2,000, to another $1,000. To each according to his own ability. That's the way he made them. Some are better to do finances, some aren't as good, but everyone's different. But they all have to invest 5 ability. They're 5 amount, they're 2 amount, they're 1 amount. Each one he's given according to his ability. Immediately he went on a journey. 5 invested, 2 invested, 1 did nothing. He didn't do anything at all. And we found out in that parable that there's no difference. He cares not any more for the one he gave 5 to than the one he gave 1 to. The one who has just it's just me, my little life, and I'm a very shy personality, that is very special. He made that. He's got uses for that. And he's just as concerned with the one with 1 as the one with 5. Why is the lukewarm worse? This has always bothered me. Why is it better to be cold or hot? And I believe I have an answer. And I think this is true. As long as it's true and it's biblical, then it would fit. Why is it better that you're, the one that's all sold out, the one that's on the bargain shelf, and the one that would be shoplifting? Why is it better to be sold out for the Lord or shoplifting? Because the middle one often won't change. Because they're in the game, right? They're doing it. I like doing this level. The shoplifter might change. I think that's true. The one that's cold for the Lord, He knows he's living wrong. I shouldn't be living this way. They know it, they know it, they know it. And that person might change. And often. Now, obviously, the one in the middle changes because he's talking to us. You can do this. And I don't care what it is. There's times where I got to heat up my marriage. There's times I got to heat up my studies. There's other times I have to heat up. There's things you have to heat up. This is ongoing. I want it hot for the Lord. But better sometimes in just a little way, but better to fail completely than to be in the lukewarm middle. Get out of the lukewarm middle. Let's go at it. Number one, startups, not doing it yet, is exactly what he's looking for. If you're the one that's just maybe cold, but you're a Christian. Startups, you've never done it before, and I got to do it now, really do more things for the Lord. Startups is exactly who he's looking for. Matthew 20. I'm going to go through quickly. If you want to get there, fine. I'm going to go through quickly. He's looking for the startups. It's exactly what he wants. You can do it. Verse 1, for the kingdom of heaven, Matthew 20, is like a landowner who went out early in the morning, hire his laborers for this vineyard. He sent them into the vineyard, verse 2. That's got the whole day ahead of them. And so we might say someone's got the whole life ahead of them, and they've done it. But verse 3, he went out the third hour and saw others standing idly in the marketplace. You too. So they went, verse 4. Verse 5, it changes again. Again, he went out the 6th, the 9th hour. We're getting late into the day. And did likewise. It doesn't say they went, but we assume they went. Many of these went also. And 6, and they went out the 11th hour. 1 hour of daylight left. It's like, let's say the sun's going down at 6 o'clock, that time of year. He goes out at 5 o'clock to see if someone will work for him for 1 hour. And the 11th hour, he went out and found others standing idle, and they weren't exempt. And he said to them, why have you been standing here idle all day? And they said to him, because no one hired us. You also go. That now is over. I'm inviting you. I'm right, cheer. They say on Mayberry, you are invited to go. He wants you to go. Number one, startups are, you're not doing it yet. That's exactly what he's looking for. Number two, mostly we're talking about virtues. What are we going to start up, Pastor? I'm so tired at the end of the day. We're talking about the virtues, love, joy, peace. We're tired and weary, but we're not, you're never too weary to be good, kind, loving. The things he wants us to do, anyone can do. Let's use age. Anyone could do it. I don't care where you're at. You could do this. Remember Scrooge? Look how well he did it at the end of that story. Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. Scrooge was a second father. He became as a good friend and as a good master and as a good man as the good old city knew and any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh and little heeded them. For he was wise enough to know that nothing ever happened on this globe for good at which some people did not have their fill of laughter in the outset. And knowing that such as these would be blind anyway, he thought it quite as well that they should wrinkle up their eyes in grins as have the malady in less attractive forms. His own heart laughed at what was quite enough for him. He had no further intercourse with spirits, no more ghosts, but lived upon the total abstinence principle. Ever afterwards, he was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May that be truly said of us and all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone. It's not too late. This is for anyone. This is for everyone. We see, let's talk about some older people, mentioning them. The widow with her mite still was good for the Lord. She used it for the Lord. Naomi, it was all over for Naomi. Way beyond childbearing and that. It was just starting. And 80-year-old Moses had a very special cause. This is for anyone. You could do it. What would you rather hear right now? Your loved lost cause passed up for another. I'm going to go pick him. You're loved, but you're a lost cause. I'm going to pick him. Or would you rather hear you're a special cause, and I have called you just specifically for this purpose? You know, I don't care what it is. But Lord, I wasted so much of my life. I got perfectly for you. Esther thought she was just one of the harem wives, many, many wives in that story in the book of Esther. But she was the one the Lord wanted to use. She was exactly the one. John Mark blew it in the Bible, in the New Testament. He blew it. He thought, oh, it's all over now. He blew. Paul didn't, wanted nothing to do with it. But soon Paul said, he's useful to me. And we need people that blow it outright, and then they get back in and say, I'm going to be sold out for the Lord. I'm all in. That's John Mark. I don't care what the situation, your age, or what it is. This is for you. It's not something like, it's not working out or anything. It's love and reading the Bible and praying and zealously living your life in front of other people. What would you rather hear right now? The euchre 9s and 10s, you play euchre, and we play, if you get all 9s and 10s, you throw it in and you get another hand. Well, that's not going to work, because in life you don't get another hand, you just get this hand. And so you look at all those 9s and 10s. Gideon had all 9s and 10s. Gideon. There's a numberless, more than 32,000, and the Lord wills him down to 300. Perfect. When he got to 300, perfect. No way could he say, I did it, because he's totally dependent on me, because he knows he's not much. Your inabilities, your age, I've never done it before, make you eligible. He's looking for you. He wants you. Anyone can do it. Back in our passage, Revelation 3, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door. Verse 21, to him who overcomes, anyone who overcomes. 22, he who has an ear, let him hear. So, startups, you haven't done it yet, is exactly what he's looking for. Number 2, it's for anyone. Number 3, he goes with you. Any new endeavor, I'm a little difficult doing that. I've never done that before. He goes with you. You are his project. He says in Matthew 4:19, and this is what had me back up away from Jesus in Gethsemane, loving him with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. He said in Matthew 4:19, in the beginning of his ministry, that he said to them, follow me and I will make you fishers of men. Did he say, go and be fishers of men? He didn't do that. They were told, follow me. That's all they had to do was follow him. You follow me, I'll make you fishers of men. And you're doing this all the time. If you own a job, business or something, someone that's able to do it, is qualified to do it, okay, that'd be Lord, any born-again Christian, but you're able to do it, okay, don't worry, we train. We'll show you how to do it. Hebrews 12, therefore we also, since we're surrounded, verse 1, by so great a cloud of witnesses. Others have done it. It says in Hebrews 11, Abraham did it by faith, and Sarah did it by faith, and other women did it by faith, and other men did it by faith. Samson is even mentioned. He was much of a failure, many failure things, but he did it by faith. He fought the Lord's enemies. So since all these have did it by faith, let us lay aside our weight, all of our weights, and the sin that easily ensnares us, and let us run with endurance the race that's set before us. My life. I have a life. I say this to young people sometimes. You got a voice. Stand up. Speak. Speak. You have a voice in life. The Lord has made you for a purpose and for a cause. Do that. Some of our voices, some of the things we need to do, we all need to do. We all need to read the Bible, spend time with the Lord in prayer. But as you go out, you can live a very different life than me. Well, it goes into all that in Hebrews 12, 1, but then 2, looking unto Jesus. You don't go alone. He's going to go with you. He's right there. Look unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. In Revelation 3, I will come into you. I will sit down with you. We'll have fellowship, and I'll show you how to do all those things that you struggle at. With Matthew 25:15, and to one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1. Then he leaves. Then he's gone. It's in the parable. Then he left, and he went on a very long journey, and then he came back. Well, while that's true, and Jesus went in around 30 AD to heaven, and he'll come back now, it is also true that he's with me. The song writer and singer, he says, I know that Jesus lives, because if not, who's this living in me? You know, who's this in my life? I have fellowship with the Lord as well as I have fellowship with my wife. And sometimes better fellowship with the Lord and closer fellowship because he touches so many other things. But he is so real to me. The Lord is, I was in a certain situation that was very revelatory for me. I could say it's the Addison Street Baptist Church, maybe because it's a bad thing I'm going to say. A good thing happened, but it happened on a bad thing. I was at the Addison Street Baptist Church in Chicago. It's in Wrigleyville, right? Not too far from Wrigley Field. Now it's gone. It's another church of another name. The Baptist church closed. And I went there because I was working on the north side. My parents' church is on the south side, so I said, well, I got to find a church on the north side because that's kind of hard to get down there all the time. So I started going to this church, and I really liked it. The pastor was an excellent preacher. The Sunday school class was out of this world, about the size of ours, but he's just so good. The teacher was so good. I learned so much, and I was just hungry, young, and raring to go. I was one of those newborns, like zebras or whatever. They're always bucking and jumping. That's the way I was. I wanted to get on with the Lord. I was there for about 6 months, and I couldn't get Bill out of that pastor. Every Sunday, hi, I've been attending your church. My name is Bill. Oh, thanks for coming. Glad to have you. You know? And the guy who ran the Sunday school also ran the choir, and we became like friends, and I met some other people that influenced. But every week, hi, I'm Bill. I'm coming to your church. And I heard that he has a class he does with some of the men of the church, and this is good, where they go in and they meet over here, and he does some very special things with them, and then others. I wanted to be part of that. 5 months later, hi, my name is Bill. I've been coming to your church. I might forget your name, you know, but I want to know exactly who you are. I'm Bill, and thanks for coming. Glad to have you. And then the Lord called my life, and I was going to go to the Moody Bible Institute, North Side, Moody Bible Institute, downtown, near North Side, South Side, my parents. Well, I'm going to be living downtown now. Not downtown, but that district. So now it doesn't matter where I go. I like the church there, but they need me down there at my parents' church. And that pastor down there, Lisa Lee, knew Bill a long time ago. Bill. And I got into that relationship with him where I'd be in his office and we'd sit mano a mano. He'd climb right up into that grill. I welcomed him there, and he helped me, and he helped me, and he helped me, and he helped me. We have this very special inclusion of our lives, and he'll go with you. He will help you. It is a wonderful thing. The Lord of your life is Christ, and he's right there with you. I like the story that Don Rickles told. Actually, they were on the Tonight Show. He's a comedian. But Frank Sinatra told the story. He says Don was starting out. He was getting known, but Frank Sinatra was very much known. And he did know Don Rickles. He maybe opened, I know they opened at some point, maybe he opened a comedian for Frank Sinatra somewhere, but he wasn't super famous. And he was there, he wasn't married, Don Rickles. He stayed married to the same woman all his life, wasn't married yet. And she went to the powder room, and he went over, hey, Frank, trying to, get in good with this girl. Just kind of come over and say hi. It'll put me in really good. I mean, Frank Sinatra will come over. Just stop by. Oh, sure, I'll do that, Don. And he goes back, and she comes back, and they're talking. And eventually, Frank Sinatra comes over. Hey, Don, how's it going? Don Rickles says, can't you see we're eating here? Frank, can't you see we're eating? I'm sorry. Could you call me later? This happens all the time. Could you imagine that you would have lunch every day with a certain personage? Who would it be? What star? What world leader? Someone today that you admire, pastor, and he eats lunch with you every day, and you have time with him every day. You do with Christ. He's looking for startups. I'm not good at it. That's what he's looking for. That's exactly what he wants. Secondly, it is for everyone. Thirdly, he goes with you. You're his project. Fourthly, he asks only what is responsible and doable. You can do it. He doesn't ask anything that you can't do. He does not ask anything that's not achievable by anybody. There was an interview. I like movies. I like movie interviews. If I hear an actor that I think's a good actor in an interview, I will watch it. It's part of what I do. Part of what I do for entertainment. And I heard a great story. Steven Spielberg was talking, and someone asked him, great director, many great movies. And he says, in the filmmaking process, what's the hardest thing for you to do? You know what he said? Get out of the car. That was it. When he arrives to set, the hardest thing is getting out of that car. All these people, Mr. Spielberg, everybody. The hardest thing is just showing up. He's in that car, and the hardest thing is just getting out there. There are hard things. Maybe you have that too, just going into that particular class or that particular workspace, or to work that day with that guy. He's going to be with you all day. That guy with you all day. And it's hard to get out of the car. He's not going to ask you to do anything that's not reasonable. It's not something that's impossible. It may seem hard to get out of a car. It might seem hard, but you can do it. You really can do it. He will be there, and he will augment you. Exactly the troubles you're having, he'll fix them. One by one, he'll fix them all. In Hebrews 10, 19 and 20, therefore, brethren, having boldness to enter the holiest by the blood of Jesus, by a new and living way which he consecrated for us through the veil, that is his flesh, and it goes on and on and on. By a new and living way which he consecrated for us. He has a way for you. He has a way for you to live your life, your marriage, your kids, your grandkids, your work, your retirement. There's a way to do it. He will help you. It's been made for you. He will show you the way. With Christianity and its actions, Cinderella, the slipper always fits. You're not going to jam on something that's hard to do. The slipper just slides right. If you just do it, it's hard to get out of the car. But as you start and do a new discipline, a Christian discipline, it fits right. You'll find it fitting right onto your foot, and you'll be fine. Romans 12:1 of sacrificing to the Lord, it's your reasonable sacrifice. He doesn't ask crazy things. It's your reasonable sacrifice. I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is your reasonable. The word for reasonable, the root word is logos. We had logos in another form in Sunday school. Right here, it's the word. It would be used. This is the best translation, which is your rational. It's what you would expect. It's the rational thing. He doesn't ask anything really strange. Following Christ, yeah, you would do this. It's the rational, wise thing, the thing that you should be all about. And service, it's your reasonable service. That is not just actions of service to anyone, but it's divine service. The word is divine service, ministration to God. So let me end with two illustrations. Here's a common illustration. It works, but it's a common illustration. You've done it. You've gotten out your, it used to be quarter, 2 quarters. Now it's like $2 to get something out of the vending machine. And they got to be perfect bills. They just don't want your money. They keep spitting it out. Sometimes the new are the worst. I've had some new ones. Why is it not taking this? Sir, could you, so you're doing it. Did you ever do this where you're putting it in, and you got enough money, and you ever do this? I want Fritos, it's E7. And so I put it in there. It's E7. I saw it was E7. I never go over and push E7. I never do that. I go E7. Because if you go E7 and you put in E6 and you just forgot it, one thing diverted you, you can get Hostess Ding Dongs. You know, I don't want Hostess Ding Dongs. I want Fritos. So I'm always food's very important to me. All right, I think I'm doing this right. Slowly. Because sometimes you call for one thing and you get another. Did you ever do that? And you got ding dongs? I know I hit 7. I never do that, but could you imagine? I hit E7, sir. I hit E7. I got ding dongs. I don't want ding dongs. But the Lord has pushed certain buttons, and he expects something. It's reasonable. It's very reasonable. He's expecting something out of our lives. You want that life. It is the most blessed life. I'm speaking from inside that life. You want that life. It's the most wonderful thing. And then one more illustration for this. And that is what we're going to do today. She's already had her birthday, Emma Jojo. It's Emma. She'll go by Emma, but she likes Emma Jojo. So I do Emma Jojo. It's her birthday celebration today. It happened 2 weeks ago. What happens in a birthday celebration? What do? It's almost always the same way. Come on. You're having a party, especially you got kids or grandkids. What's your favorite food? What's your favorite food? What food do you want? You can pick any food that you want. You know, what kind of a cake do you want? Here's what's most important for a grandfather. What do you want for a present? What presents do you want? Now, she's not here, so I can tell you. We took her over to the Amish place at Royal Oaks down there on P Drive, and I said, you follow the other, it's only 3 other girls at the time, but it feels like about 300. You follow the other 300, and I had to do the don't touch it if it's glass. There's a lot of glass things in the Amish store. You will not touch it if it is glass. And I'll follow Emma, because she's better with 300, and I'm one at a time kind of a guy. April, I have 2, I'm failing. And I followed everything she touched in the aisle. One thing was just a little rabbit or something. It was just a little footnote. Grandma! I bought it because it was the cheapest thing on her list. Everything, one of them was $16, $17. One was about $6. And I saved about my $20. But she wanted that, and she wanted it. It's her birthday. And she wants that within reason. She's going to get that. The Lord wants something from your life. It's very reasonable. It's pretty much shine your light, pretty much that. But there's certain things that the Lord has. Let him have it. What do you want, Lord? Every morning, what do you want? I will do whatever. Once in a while, he will. I think I gotta make a phone call. I don't want to do that. But when I know what I gotta do, it is clear what I gotta do. It's so much better to do the Lord's will. You do the Lord's will. I'll finish with this horror story and then this song. And I'll never forget it. I'll never, ever, ever, ever forget it. I fear not for me. I do fear for me, but I fear for that man. I pray always that that man has changed. I couldn't believe my ears. We're at the evangelistic meeting of Georgy Vins. Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union, and they were imprisoning Christians because they were Christian. And that is mostly over, vastly over. But there he was. Many times he was in prison for his faith, very much ill-treated, and he gave a message. And I'd read his stories all about Georgy Vins, and he's going to speak at Westchester Bible Church. And I was there, crowd of 200. I given my life to the Lord about 2 months earlier. And he gave 2 calls, because it was also with the gospel. And he's going to ask people, will you come down to believe Christ? Oh, I forget the numbers, but it was, 20-ish, 30-ish. Came down to receive Christ their Savior. But first he asked, before I ask if anyone wants to believe, if you give your life to the Lord. If you've never given your life to the Lord publicly, come on down now. And I was in the back, and Pastor Sleed was in the balcony, and I ran down because I was going to be first. Ran down. And then it's like pastors, after we had them all, pastors, you come on down, and he pastors to these people. And there's about 20 of us also. I ran down. And what I did alone near Addison Street Bible Church, Baptist Church, about 2 blocks away, I gave my Christian life to the Lord for him to use me. And I knew in full-time Christian work, I didn't know what, but I was going to do it. Whatever he tells me, I wanted my life his. And my sadness, any tears is happiness. My sadness is what happened next. We're leaving the meeting. We're going out in the halls, and everybody leaves at the same time. In time in life, as I've gotten older, I sit around now. Let them all leave, then I leave. You miss all the crowd. So I just sit around and talk. But this time I didn't. We're walking, and we're in a hallway. You can have about 3 across. So it's a mob of threes, three, going, we're all walking, there's people here. I don't know who's with me, I'm with different people. But I don't know if they were with me on that. It seems like I was alone, but a guy, you're the guy that ran down. Yeah, I'm him. He goes, yeah. Well, how do you say it? He said, yeah, I used to be excited like that. It'll wear off. Best thing that could ever happen to me. Best thing. Yeah, I used to be excited like that. It'll wear off. When I was a new Christian, I was that way. And I had not today, don't say that to me today, I have to say something, Back then, I just, what? Is that going to happen? That's not going to happen to me. I'm thinking, that's going to happen? That's going to happen to me. You know what? That ain't going to happen to me. There's no way that's going to happen to me. And it hasn't happened to me. It hasn't. We had 3 people sitting on the couches. Let there be only 2. There is the zealous and those that are not zealous. Okay? Oh, answer the call. Not the full-time Christian work. That might be out there. My life at the, whatever you work in, I do this and I volunteer with that, and is the Lord's. I don't know what to do. I'll do it with the Lord. I'll learn what to do. But my life is for him. It will never wear off. I'll never get cold. I will. And it has only gotten hotter and hotter. Even as I slow down, my heart speeds up. I love the Lord, as frail as I am, as many mistakes as I continue to make. I stay on track. I stay on the track that I'm going to serve the Lord. Won't you join me? And Lord, then there is the faith side of life. And you've added these with a purpose, with a clear purpose. Lord, going way back to talking about a team, we may not all be Michael Jordan. We maybe can't even be the best in the elementary. But we could all hustle. Anyone could hustle. Any husband could love his wife. I'm going to add on 5 times more of servitude and dedication to my wife. Anyone who cooks can deepen that and become a real chef and do it like they've never done it before. Any pastor could study twice harder and do even better in the messages. It's true of all of us, whatever it is, we can do it better. We can do it with more zeal. Oh Lord, let it be, Lord, the zeal of the Lord, the love of the Lord in our lives. We are qualified, and I claim the man with the poor hand, the poor euchre hand. It doesn't negate me. It qualifies me. Exactly what you're looking for. Someone with needs that needs to trust you. Oh Lord, right now, just for a moment, this one or that one, to silently or audibly say, Lord, me, I'm going to serve you. I'm sold out for you. In any words they want to use. Lord, here's this as part of our worship. Lord, I would be remiss, and I always have prayed for that man. If he still walks earth's sod, that he'd be zealous again. That he would have repented of foolish actions and gained control of his spirit. For no man can draw close to the Spirit and not be energized. For it's what the Spirit does. Bless that man to walk and serve you with all the zeal of his heart. And that I would never be what that man was. Not that I am better, not that these are better, or Christian workers are better, or Sunday school teachers are better. That has nothing to do with that. I usually feel the worst. I'm less qualified than others. But what I got is thine. I have the ownership and it's yours. And whatever you want with my life, Lord, just show me. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I will do it. It is your life in me. Bless those that may be committed to this. And 6 recently in a message, 6 others recently in a message. Bless those as they renew that. It now, Lord, is thine life, what you want out of me. Pray in Christ's name, amen. God bless you.